What's up, everybody? Welcome to episode 7 of the IGN Arena podcast. I'm Leah B. Jackson, your host, and I'm here with another new panel of guests. Some familiar faces, some new faces.
Hi, guys.
Here we are with Mitch Dyer.
I'm familiar.
This is Brian Albert.
Hello.
And this is our new guest, Kyle O'Connor.
Hi, guys. I'm new.
He is new. He also works
Hi,
at
Kyle.
IGN. James is sick right now, so we hope you feel better soon, James. But Kyle is stepping in. He's a big MOBA fan, loves League of Legends.
Yeah.
So we definitely wanted to have him on the show today.
You asked for less Dota talk, and we are granting that
But
wish.
first, more Dota talk.
More Dota.
It will be less Dota show today, but we cannot move on without talking about the International. It's happening right now as this airs.
Yes.
We're very excited. We're going to the International. You two specifically are going to the
Yes.
International. We're going to have the International on IGN and tons of stuff on IGN Arena at youtube.com/IGN Arena. So make sure to subscribe, but break down more of what you guys are going to be doing there because it's very exciting.
Yeah, so I mean, we're gonna be going to the first thing. Like, we're gonna go to the secret shop because we want to buy all the cool Dota
So
merch.
tell everyone what the secret shop is first.
So the secret shop is, it's themed after the secret shop in Dota, but it's actually the real life merchandise booth where you can buy shirts and figurines and awesome Rubik plushies.
You can dump hundreds of dollars without thinking about it.
When you say
Like
can,
Dota.
I think you mean will. So we're going to be doing some video stuff with that. We're going to be doing interviews with players, with casters. We're going to be uploading every single match of the International to IGN. Especially on IGN Arena, you can watch every match there. We're going to have VODs for every single match up through the grand finals on Monday.
We'll have all that updated on our hub page for TI4.
Yes, yeah. So there's anything you need from TI4. We're gonna have a ton of stuff. James is gonna be shooting and editing. Brian and I are gonna be doing interviewing and lots of on-camera stuff as much as possible. So lots of big stuff planned. Keep an eye out for it. We also had an idea today that I want to run. I want to test pilot this. I want to do something called Know Your Lore.
I'm ready.
So the idea, we want to see if we can find big name Dota people or cosplayers and read them lore from Dota 2 and see if they know what the character is.
Because
Amazing.
as far as I'm concerned, no one really follows the lore in any MOBA. It's really cool. The developers put a lot of work and time and love into creating these amazing characters, and then people just play the game and don't really go into that lore stuff because they'd rather, learn about the abilities and items and builds that they should be doing. So the lore kind of gets overlooked, which sucks because it's really awesome.
And there's some fun stuff. This came up because Brian and I were talking about the awesome in Dota 2. There's this giant fish man named Tidehunter, and he's got this rivalry with this pirate admiral named Kunkka, and they have this they have great dialogue.
They have in-lane dialogue against each other, and it's really interesting.
It's great. They have this amazing rapport where Tidehunter is so angry, but Kunkka's kind of bored by it or something. It's so good. So I'm gonna read you guys to test this out a piece of lore from Dota 2.
So if we know it, should we just shout out the answer?
I want you
I'm
to
gonna know it.
You're gonna have no idea because you don't play Dota.
Yeah.
You just start yelling League characters.
Lucian, right? Lucian. Jackal.
It's a jackal. So I'm gonna read this.
What was the rule? We yell it out?
Just
or
yell
we
it
wait till the
out.
end?
Call it out. When you think you know, just say it. I'm unlimited number of guesses, but don't just start going A to Z down the list. Think a little bit about it. I'm not gonna read the character's name. I'm gonna talk around it. Blank, tormented soul, is an entity torn from the heart of nature, a liminal being that exists half in one plane of existence,
Bane?
half in another. No. His penetrating intelligence is such that he can never ignore a moment of agonizing horror at the heart of all creation.
Rubik?
Not Rubik.
Doom?
None of these
Warlock?
are...
I'm holding it out for a while.
Once a great philosopher who sought the meaning of existence, he plumbed the depths of nature with his haunted chronoptic crystals and was forever altered by the hideous
Demon?
mysteries thereby revealed to him.
Frick.
Man.
Now the darkest depths of his enlightenment are illuminated only by the fitful glare of his arrogance. This is really weird. I don't know if I like this one. Like other elemental characters,
Invoker?
he is completely at one with nature. He is completely at one with nature.
Nature's Prophet?
No.
Dang it.
Easy guess. But in his case, it is a nature lurid and vile. He alone sees the evil truth of reality and has no use for those who believe the cosmos reserved for a special reward for those who practice benevolence.
Okay, I've
That one's
named
really
10
hard.
heroes.
Really
right?
hard.
You guys,
They were wrong entirely.
all of them.
Okay, you have to guess a couple more.
At one with nature, slightly evil,
I keep thinking
philosopher.
That could even, it even sounds like
Leshrac.
a league.
I did it!
Wow.
Yes!
Oh, he does look sort of plant-like.
He's a
sort
little,
of.
yeah.
Like
He's
his
like
head sort of has
He's like a plant man goat of some kind.
That could have even been like Maokai from League of Legends.
Yeah.
Perfect. The evil enchanted tree. Like that sounds like one with nature.
That's a fun game.
I like this.
That was really good.
It's definitely.
I can't wait to try this on like Dendy.
I would never have guessed Leshrac.
No, me either. He's a character that I would never guess for anything because I always forget he's there. Until someone picks him and I'm like, oh yeah, he's in this game and he looks really cool because
and
he's
all my
bright
towers
neon.
are gone now.
Yeah, exactly.
It should be like people can only guess one time, or they're gonna start doing what I did.
Yeah,
and
you just
like,
start listing off all the
characters.
Nature's Prophet. Nature's Prophet. It's Nature's Prophet.
I only said him one time. I had a different guess every time.
All right,
please.
fair enough.
And I have this scarf here. I'm gonna wear it to show my Dota 2 pride.
Good.
I got this from TI2.
Okay.
So it's very fancy.
I'm sorry that your boys in the Alliance got knocked out.
Me too. Alliance is my favorite Dota 2 team, and they unfortunately were knocked out this past week. But it's okay. I still love them. I'm not a Fairweather fan. I will be an Alliance fan. I'm a good girl.
They got knocked out by EG.
But they did get knocked out by EG, so now I'm kind of like, do I want to root for EG? So, I mean, I guess let's quickly go around and say who we want to win TI4.
I don't play Dota, so.
Okay, we will give our 3 predictions, then we'll go into our topics
All right,
for this week.
we'll get away from Dota a little bit more.
I'm going with EG.
I am too.
Evil Geniuses, they're headquartered just down the street.
They're local boys.
Yep, they're local.
I didn't know that.
They're,
Evil Geniuses are local.
Yeah.
I did not know that.
I mean, the headquarters is. I mean, the players are kind of spread out, but
sure.
I don't know. They're the only American
They're
team
the only American
left.
team. So there's an American team, 5 Chinese teams, European team.
Yeah, there's definitely some Euros, because Navi's still
and
in.
newbies like Southeast Asia or something.
Yeah.
Like that. So anyway, there's like the local thing, and
Yeah.
then I like Arteezy's kind of like cocky style of play in a way. I really like watching him.
He's Canadian, so I'm a sucker for like my people.
Yeah. I normally would have said Na'Vi because I'm a big Na'Vi fan.
They've been playing like garbage.
They have. They were playing. I don't remember who it was. I think it was Newbie. They were playing 2 games against them, and they had like their carry on Razor. Like Havos was Razor. I'm like, okay, and it didn't work. And like the next game, they just picked him again while Newbie had the same enemy heroes, and they failed again. I'm just like, okay, like.
They're like a kid like who touches the oven. It's like, it's hot.
Yeah, let's just go one more time.
I want to check.
I was like, I can't. I'm sorry, I can't.
What about you?
I'm EG as well. Based on like limited knowledge of these teams, like I'm just watching the international, going, oh, this team's fun to watch, and this player is really cool, and I know a little bit about the drama of like Fnatic, and I know that Na'Vi is a really interesting team to watch. I've seen free to play, so I know like a little bit about these teams, but yeah, EG has been the most interesting for me to watch.
Even though they knocked Alliance out, I gotta go with the American team. Gotta go with EG. I mean, I would want them. I was rooting for Liquid, but then that didn't happen.
I was too.
And so I'll go with EG. But I actually am really excited to see DK. I love watching Burning play and seeing how much CS he can do. So that would be really fun. But I don't know.
I don't want any more Naga games.
Yes.
Farming Naga
all
games with
the Naga
split pushes.
games.
No more of that.
Oh my gosh. Okay, well let's move on. But definitely, if you guys are Dota fans, check out IGN and IGN Arena at youtube.com/IGN Arena for all the awesome TI4 coverage that we're going to be doing. It's awesome. So let's move on. We're going to kind of, again, move from sort of the hardest of the hardcore and talk about sort of new players, because we get a lot of feedback from IGN Arena viewers. If you want to send us mail, you can do so at arenapodcast@ign.com. But we hear a lot from newcomers who are learning about MOBAs, who are just getting into it, who want to learn more about it, how to play, how they should play, that type of thing. And we really love hearing your feedback like that, because it lets us know that you guys are listening and starting to get into this sort of phenomenon that's happening. So that's really exciting.
Which makes me happy. More people that play MOBAs are just
totally agree.
Always a good thing.
Totally. So that's exactly what we're going to talk about right now, is learning new heroes and sort of helping your friends get into this genre. So Mitch, why don't you take this topic away, because you and Brian have a longer feature coming out about this week.
Yeah, we have another edition of our long-form letter series feature, Courier's Corner, with amazing art by Katie Casarda. But Brian and I talked about learning new heroes, and basically when I started playing, I stuck to 1 or 2 heroes. Leah taught me to play with Lich, and then taught me to play with Sven, and I kind of stuck with them for a really long time, mixing it up with like 1 or 2 characters who were sort of similar or safe picks, and not really branching out. Recently, I've just started hitting the random button when I jump into games, especially pub games where it's like, I don't have anything totally committed to this. Or if I'm playing with my team, I just let them know, hey, I'm going to random, please build around that. And I'll hit the random button, and you get that extra gold when you random a hero. and you get.
League doesn't have that feature.
Really?
Unless I'm ignorant to it, they do not have a random
Interesting.
anything.
Maybe that's because they rotate heroes out so much.
Yeah, it could be.
Whereas
Dota has instant.
It's just everybody is there, yeah. So you hit random and it just picks somebody, and you get like a little bit of extra gold when
like
you
a few
go to
hundred.
the game.
It's pretty
It's like 200 or 300.
Yeah, it's nice.
Yeah.
It's basically like an extra item, which is awesome.
You mean in game you start off with the extra gold?
Yeah.
Oh wow, that's a huge benefit.
Yeah.
I didn't know that. Sorry, I'm pretty ignorant to Dota, so maybe I should put more time into it.
That works perfectly with what we're talking about.
Exactly.
Yeah.
All right.
I mean, so when you jump into Dota, like that's a thing you don't know. You jump in, you don't really know like what hero to play. So if you random, I mean, as somebody who's new, you're gonna play whoever anyway, right? So
Yeah.
you might as well random try to get that extra gold. And that's been the only way I've learned to play new heroes is basically force feeding it to myself, because otherwise I'm just gonna stay safe and pick the safe characters, because it's kind of overwhelming to have 100 choices and not know where to go. And people can say like, oh, we need this, can you play this character? It's a little, I don't know, it's hard and scary to play a new character when you have an important role to play, but it's a little less scary when you just random it and you're like, all right, I guess we're doing this. So for me, that's been what I've been doing, and I talked to Brian about like the best way to learn new characters. So I don't know, like I want to know everyone's advice, like when you're trying to learn somebody new, what is your process?
I usually, for me, when I'm trying to learn new characters or just learn a new game, I try to just play as many different characters as possible. I always feel like in competitive games like this, it's probably stemmed from my WoW arena days.
Sure.
To better know your enemy, you got to know how they work, how you play them. So I try to just go through, and then remember which character I performed best with, or enjoyed playing the most, or maybe they had some sort of gimmick that was really awesome. That's how I stumbled on my favorite League character, like Ziggs. I really liked his long-range game, and then his zoning game, and then the fact that he had the little satchel charge that'll blow everyone away.
Yeah.
And that's how I fell in love with that character, and it was just trial and error. Which one do I like? Which one do I not like? And then you find your niche, I think.
What about you, Brian?
I actually prefer to take the one character and just play it over and over.
You just decide, like, I guess you're the one. I like the look of Tidehunter. I will play him 45 times in a row.
For me, it's sort of like pretty much everything in Dota is a variable. Like everything changes except for like the rules and the map, pretty much.
Yeah.
So like
Or
the fewer,
any MOBA. Really.
Sure.
That's true of League.
but like the fewer things that are changing, the more I'll pick. Like if I'm the same character every time, I'll learn like, okay, these characters who have like blinks can close the gap on me and it ruins my day, or like this person who has like crazy like harass in lane ruins my day, and like. I just want to learn everything about one character first, and then relate new characters that I play to that first character.
That's how I
do things, or did do things.
You learn one specific tool set, and then you see how that works against everyone else, and that works as well.
Right.
And you kind of learn the hard way a lot of the time when you do it like that, because you learn, like, oh man, I didn't know that anti-mage had a blink out of the gate and can close the gap and chop me to pieces, and I can't do anything about it. So you got to figure out, if you're going to keep playing that character, how to counter that, or who you need to lane with, or when to call for the gank.
Right. So a good example for me recently is in Dota, of course, surprise. I was playing a character called Shadow Fiend, and I played him once when I started. So I basically pretty much have not played this guy.
Yeah, it didn't count.
And then I came back a few days ago and played him, and he's like really strong early, has crazy burst damage, but like can't escape anything. He's really slow and kind of squishy.
It's because he spends too much of his time just with that swagger walk.
Swagger walk. He's so good, but. I don't know. I did a few really good games with him, and then I played a game with a bunch of people who had like stuns and like a Tiny who was really fast because he had like a teammate who boosted his speed, and it ruined me. And like now I know that. So that's what I prefer.
Back to League, for me, I was playing Ziggs. That was my favorite. It's like the first character I really was like, oh man, he's so much fun to play. And then I got introduced to like characters like Kassadin or Akali who just close those gaps and just blow you up before you even know what's happened. And that was the hard route I took to learning Ziggs. And then I figured out maybe I should try different mid characters and rotate that way.
Strangely, maybe it's just because when I play League, I play ARAM. That's how I mean, it's, obviously all random.
Yeah.
So, like, I just kind of find a character and, like, play with their skills, and, like, the stakes seem really low in ARAM.
Yeah, that's a really good way to learn, too.
I like ARAM as well.
Yeah, you're just kind of, it's just waves on both sides smashing into each other with no real investment, because you're not worried about, like, oh, I'm disappointed because you two were supposed to be taking the top lane and we lost that tower. It's just like, no, everyone's just running mid, using all their abilities.
A character who, like, you would like charge up this little tornado and you could like hit it and let it go.
Yasuo.
I really like that character.
He's really fun. He's super overpowered. He's like one of the most recent He's like 3 new champions ago. So I think his design is awesome. ARAM I really like because it feels like team fight training. You're just like, okay, cool.
Yeah.
That's all you worry about. Stick
That's
to the
a really
tower
good point.
or dive. Yeah, and I think it's fantastic because you won't often get those people like, oh, all I play is Riven. I'm going to just take Riven and just wreck you guys because you guys are playing characters you don't know. So I'm a big fan of ARAM.
Very interesting.
What about you, Leah?
For me, I know that we've talked about this kind of should you play multiple heroes or not, or play the same hero in the past. I think another way to look at it is what type of role you want to play on the team rather than this character looks cool, I'm going to try him, or rather than doing the random button all the time. I feel like you have to kind of consider what type of player you are. Do you normally like to play supports? Do you like to play as tanks? Do you like to play as damage dealers? And then you can kind of narrow it down to the characters who are good at the roles that you want to do. And then you can decide if you want to mass games or if you want to random games as those types of characters. I think that might be one way to sort of take an extra step back and look at it to sort of help you decide which characters you want to play. If you go the ARAM route, it's a totally awesome way to go because you get to try lots of characters and, you know, do that sort of way, and it's fast, and I like that. But I think that you definitely need, if you're going to play like a classic, the lane game, if you will, you should just sort of determine what character style you like.
Yeah.
To that point too, I mean, if you're in a lane and you play carry all the time, you like to play one specific character. Like when I was playing Sven a lot, the reason I switched to learning someone like Witch Doctor is because I would play with a really good Witch Doctor, and then I wanted to learn to do that. So I switched out. Like, I don't want to carry anymore. I want to do what he did, or I want to do what he did better because he was failing this way. So if you play a certain role a lot, you start learning what the expectations are for your supports, and you know exactly what you need to do to get there. Granted, you might not know the item builds and stuff, but that comes with time.
Another thing on that note is that if you have like one friend who you can teach how to play the character that you're learning, you will learn more about that character because, you know,
based on their questions.
Exactly. They'll ask you tons of questions. They won't understand what's going on, and as you teach them, you'll learn more. You'll be able, you know, to tell them exactly how to do things, and then it'll click in your mind like, oh, I'm doing this thing that someone else probably told me to do because of this. And I think that is really like a helpful way to teach people, or for people to learn, is to actually try to teach someone else.
Absolutely.
So yeah,
that kind of touches base on what I mentioned earlier about learning your enemies, and then it is also the same way, like, that's how I learned Ziggs, back to Ziggs. Like, I was playing a game, I was playing Brand, mid lane, and I fought a Ziggs, and he just spent all game whooping me, just
I hate playing versus Brand mid.
Yeah. And then I was like, oh, wow, I fed him. So let me give that guy a try and see if it's because I was bad at him or he's just a really good champ. And that's how it went for me and got into Ziggs.
Interesting. All right.
So obviously there are a lot of best ways to play, or best ways to sort of teach people to play these games. But there are a lot of best ways to introduce folks to MOBAs too. We are finding a lot of them right here at IGN.
Yeah.
Recently, a MOBA came out on tablets called Fates Forever. It's available on iPad right now. I believe it's coming to Android tablets soon. Right. But Mitch, Brian Altano, and we did sort of this really funny introduction to MOBAs with Brian Altano, who's never played a MOBA before. And it was great. So,
it was awesome.
So break it down. We have the video on IGN Arena at youtube.com/IGN Arena if you want to check it out. But tell the folks what was in that video.
Really quick little note, if you don't mind.
No, I don't
whenever
mind.
we do our MOBA talk, because I sit by Leah and Vince, and we'll sometimes talk Dota talk, and Brian Altano always chimes in with like your nonsense moon speak or whatever. So he doesn't know anything.
He knew nothing. I mean, he had never seen a match of Dota. He didn't know anything about League. He didn't know anything about this iPad MOBA. So Leah and I sat down with Brian and handed him this tablet and said, "All right, play. Like, play your first match ever." And Fates Forever is a 3v3 MOBA, 2 lanes, very simplified version of League of Legends, with, you know, elements from other MOBAs interspersed. And, you know, we were trying to teach him the basics of last hits, using abilities, knockbacks, stuns, taking down towers, all of this stuff, while he had no knowledge of it, on the fly in the middle of a match.
I gotta watch this video.
It's hysterical,
it's
but it also
really
goes a
funny.
lot better than you think it will. Like, Altano was cleaning up. One, he played a hero that I think is kind of broken in that game. He's super overpowered. Like, he's really
like
tanky.
a bird.
He's this big bird with a guitar, and he's got, like,
With a guitar.
amazing knockback. He's super tanky. His skills are great. He's got
It
range,
was the
slows.
perfect character for Brian
It was awesome.
for his first character.
Yeah, and it was interesting for me to watch Altano learn this using this iPad game that I thought, I played the tutorial, and the tutorial is really good. Way better than Dota's tutorial, which is, it teaches you a lot of bad habits about last hits.
I wasn't a fan of that Dota tutorial. I tried it, and I was like, this is rough for me.
Yeah, it's punishing, and it doesn't do you any favors. Like, it teaches you, like, hey, right-click on this enemy to kill it, and it doesn't teach you about last hits very effectively.
Yeah.
It teaches you bad manners in terms of, like, getting ahead of your creeps and stuff like that. Like, I just don't think it's very clean. Whereas this one is a lot more like Hearthstone, where you have to finish something before it lets you proceed to the next step, and you have a very specific task, and you can die and you can fail, and it's just like, oh, you died, so maybe don't do what you did. Like, try this instead.
Suck less.
Suck less. It's basically like having Leah as a coach. And it was awesome, and I learned, like, I thought, like, this is a really helpful learning tool, and I think this could be a really great intro to MOBAs. So we showed Brian, and it was great. And I think that it might be, it's not like the ideal MOBA to start with if you're going to try to play League or Dota, but it is a really good starting point in some capacities, because it teaches you the core mechanics and on a smaller scale.
I'm going to have to look into this and see if I can play this on the tablet, because I'm interested. It sounds at least a little wacky.
It's a very beautiful iPad MOBA, I would say. I loved how it looks. The characters are all really neat looking. They're sort of fable creatures. I like the gameplay. I think I'm going to disagree with you and say it is a good introduction, even if you do want to get into Dota and League, because it shows you on a very much smaller scale to those games just how they work. And some people, they see MOBA and they just scroll right past it and they just don't care. I 100% know that happens.
It's a diet MOBA. I like that a lot.
Diet MOBA.
Absolutely, absolutely. So if you are interested in the genre at all and just kind of want to dip your foot in the pool, not jump in the deep end with Dota and League right away.
Even if you don't follow up, like if you don't want to follow up and you don't want to learn League, this is something you can enjoy on your own.
And it's free. It's a free to play game for the iPad. So I mean, I definitely would suggest checking it out. But I think that there are other MOBAs out there that do similar things. Yeah. One of which is Awesomenauts, which is a console game. You reviewed Awesomenauts.
I played a lot of Awesomenauts.
So tell the folks about the Awesomenauts.
Awesomenauts is a MOBA that I didn't really think was a MOBA, just because of so it feels like a platform, like just like a competitive platformer.
Yep.
Where like it's 2D and the movement is all like vertical, side-scrolling, and there are towers and there are like creeps that meet and you attack them for gold to level up your abilities. It's really fun and silly, and matches are short, and the characters have like really unique abilities. And, it's like someone had to say, oh, like this is a MOBA for me to think, oh, this is actually a MOBA.
Yeah.
Like they don't have to be isometric top-down view, 3 lanes. Yeah.
I had the exact same thing. I reviewed that game like 2 years ago when it came out on whatever it came out on PC, PS3, whatever. Mm-hmm. And then it came out again on PS4 as like this kind of updated different version. And it got like that game is getting 2 new characters into mode this week.
Yep.
I think.
It's getting updated this week.
It's got several updates since it came out.
So I mean, it's got like pretty decent support too, which is good because it is one of those games that is, it distills the essence of a MOBA down so effectively that you don't really think of it that way, and I think that makes it easier to approach.
Right, because it's like we said side-scrolling 2D. It's also like a twin-stick shooter.
What? Yeah, a little bit.
Because like you fire by pointing the stick. It's.
I mean, it has skill shots is basically what Brian is saying, so that you have to use both sticks in order to aim and fire your skill shots.
It plays like a little 2D shooter thing, or I don't know, like depending on what character you're playing. But yeah, it's a very good little console game with the essence of a MOBA. It's great.
It's surprising how maybe it's my tinfoil hat theory, but it's surprising how many aspects from MOBAs are starting to appear in a lot newer games. Everyone was looking at me like crazy when I was saying this. I was having these conversations here at work. And I was like, when Titanfall came out, and everyone was complaining about the AI, and I was like, look, that's kind of like creep in MOBAs. Like the currency they give you is extra time off your Titans. And the more of those you kill, the faster you'll get the Titans, the more powerful you'll get later. And I was like, that's kind of like taking creep out of MOBAs and stuff like that. And even Titanfall even has turrets in there, but they're not the same sort of...
Yeah, we talk about this a lot on the show.
Really?
Yeah,
okay.
Just the way, like...
But you're totally
you're
right.
Absolutely,
you're
totally
right.
right.
On the right track. Don't feel bad.
Everyone else was like, no.
We already talked about this.
No.
No. Like, you're totally just... You're reinforcing this idea that we talk about a lot, which is that AAA is chasing MOBA in a big, bad way. Yeah. In little ways like that where it's like, oh, well, there's creeps in Titanfall. Yeah. Or you look at something like Battleborn where their multiplayer mode straight up is a 5v5 MOBA.
Wow.
Yeah. Or Evolve, where it's like you start at level 1
and you have this
and
little
you
arc.
progress and you choose certain skills.
And the heroes are all have unique abilities that play into each other, so you have to select them appropriately.
I don't know if I hate it. I like it. But that might be
fan.
because I'm a MOBA fan. Like, I think it's a good avenue for games to go down. But I really hope it doesn't end up just being like, oh, hey, first-person MOBA. Here's a third-person MOBA. Here's an isometric MOBA.
Yeah. And I maintain that like Star Wars Battlefront and other games in the future will like absolutely steal this. They will start feeling more and more like MOBAs, in a good way. Like not in a way that makes, I think the fear right now is that MOBA is a bad word, and Leah and I talked about this a little bit last week. Like, people are afraid of the term MOBA because that's a genre they're not into. I don't want anything to do with that.
The
it's
community's
weird.
venomous. It's scary. Yeah. High skill cap. Yeah, I definitely
But the design
that.
of it is amazing. Yeah. And the more it comes into other games, the more complex and interesting those games are going to be.
For me, I see a lot of MOBA taking a lot of influence out of like, first-person shooter game styles. Like, I don't know if back in the day you guys ever played, like Return to Castle Wolfenstein on Xbox or Unreal Tournament. We had the assault and domination modes where you were like going up and you got to take notes. I don't know. I feel like there's a little hints of that in the MOBA design.
Yeah.
I recently played a MOBA last week called Gigantic. Well, Gigantic is beautiful. If you haven't seen the trailer, check out IGN Arena, youtube.com/IGN Arena. We have the announcement trailer and a video preview so you can see a little bit of gameplay also. So I know a lot of people are like, multiplayer online battle arena doesn't tell me anything when they talk about MOBAs. This actually is a multiplayer online game in a battle arena. Like you're not fighting on a laned map or anything like that. It's more of, I only got to play on one map, but it was more like a big temple that didn't have any lanes. It was just had 2 levels of the temple.
Interesting.
Positioning's probably going to be huge.
Yeah, so it was really cool. It's a third-person MOBA, kind of like Smite. They didn't specifically call it a MOBA, but to me, it played like one. You had characters that you can level up throughout the game. By killing other players.
Battleborn is a hero brawler.
A hero
exactly.
shooter.
So,
but the terminology is going to change.
That said, Gigantic didn't have towers and it didn't have creeps, so it definitely seemed more like a hero brawler or a battle arena game than a straight up, like Dota or League of Legends or even Smite.
But it's got similar ideas, right? Like instead of the ancient, you have this giant monster that you're kind of carting through the map.
Indeed. So
that's what that was. The giant dragon we saw, or like the griffin.
And the griffin.
Yeah. So those are the Gigantics and Gigantic. They're called Guardians. But indeed. So the basic goal of the game is that you and your Guardian are trying to kill the other team and their Guardian, and to do that, you make as you and your team kill one another and use these summon stones to summon creatures that also aid you, which are kind of like towers a little bit, but not really. You earn power for a power bar, and once your power bar is all the way full, your Guardian will start running across the temple, and it can like change the terrain. So it's so big it will like crush a bridge, and now you can like run up the bridge that got left behind, or the debris or whatever. So it opens up different parts of the map, and then it will go over to the other Guardian and sort of beat it down, and then your team has to beat the other Guardian while its heart is exposed. And you only have a certain amount of time to do it.
Now.
Exactly. So the other team has to run and defend their Guardian while you guys are trying to kill it. And that can happen twice. And then once 2 of the Guardian's health bars are knocked out, then it automatically enters a new mode called Clash Mode, where the Guardians will fight one another like in a smaller arena, and your power bar fills up faster. So it's the same sort of thing, but your power bar is filling up faster, so it encourages quick games. So they'll only last about like 15-20 minutes per game. But
all of this sounds great.
Yeah. Sounds amazing.
So, and then another one, the only other thing that I want to mention is that throughout the map there are 10 spawn points, and if your team can take one of the spawn points, then, you can spawn at it, closer and get back into the match further, rather than having to walk all the way across. There's no teleport, so like you can't teleport anywhere on the map. But if your team takes a spawn point, then you can, spawn quicker and closer to the battle, that kind of thing. But I thought that this game took a lot of MOBA elements out of other types of games, and it looks and plays really well. So what do you guys think based on that super quick description?
Yeah, I read your preview, saw your video preview, and when you came back to the office and started talking about this game, I was like, no, I don't know that I need like another fringe tier MOBA. Like there's so many that are chasing League of Legends and chasing Dota, and it's great because we're seeing some do some interesting things, but it is becoming a little bit overwhelming. So it's nice to see that this is doing something kind of different in a major way. Plus, it's really pretty.
It's really pretty.
Wow, I saw that trailer and it was just.
Yeah.
Am I watching a movie? What is going
Right.
on? It's amazing.
Hearing you talk about it now, I'm just thinking of like the little details that I'll really care about, but I don't know if it's super important. So like, having 2 layers sounds huge. That sounds really important.
It's cool.
Like,
so you can jump.
Tell me a little bit about that.
So you can jump, and then there are some characters can like throw down. I know. You can throw down like a jump pad for your friend so they can like get up there, and then there's another character who has like
so terrain level make a huge difference.
Yeah,
right?
and
because like in Dota, it's like if you're attacking someone uphill, you have like a miss chance, or like if they're uphill, you can't even see them.
Or if they're above you, they have the high ground. They have better vision.
Right.
I mean, it's more it's more like Smite, where if you're up high, then you have better vision of what's going on below you, but it might not mean that they can't hit you, like if they're going uphill. You know what I mean? But there's also other characters who can like use a grappling hook and like grapple straight up there, which is pretty cool.
I was just fantasizing about that. Like, I love Bionic Commando. It's my favorite platformer of all time, and I've always wanted to see like a MOBA that is one of these third-person things.
You can totally do that.
And I was just like, you're like 2 layers, you could grapple up. Oh, it'd be so good.
Yeah,
you can do it.
Yeah, it's really really cool. And
grapple characters are some of my favorite, like in League, Thresh. I love that hook.
Thresh is great.
Thresh is my favorite right now.
Nautilus, because you can like throw his big anchor onto terrain and just go, oh, see ya.
Timbersaw is that way in Dota, where he can shoot his chain out or whatever it is and latch onto a tree and yank himself toward it.
Clockwork also has.
Clock has a really good one.
Yeah. So that's really cool. Just sort of the different verticality of the map, I guess, is what I would say. And something that was kind of encouraging was that they're developing lots of maps, they said. So it's not just going to be this one Rune Temple type of map. There's going to be a bunch with a bunch of different game modes and stuff like that. So there could be a more traditional MOBA map on the way. Who knows? But they definitely want to Motiga is the developer. It's a brand new developer. They announced the game and themselves in the same day. They've been working on Gigantic for 2 years.
Holy crap.
And secretly, in secret. So, and they want it to be a competitive PC game. So they're not saying it's going to be an esport, but they're developing with that in mind. So with spectator modes in mind and replays and that type of stuff. And it's going to be a free-to-play game. So that's cool too.
Cool. One more question.
Yeah.
So when your Guardian runs off across the map, does it break the same things every time, or is it?
I had a question.
Yeah, it did seem to break. Well, it was more like it will break the same things each game. Is that what you mean?
Well, are you asking if it follows the same path every time it crosses the map? Like, is it just a beeline for the other Guardian, or is he like?
I guess that's more of what I mean.
It seemed like it was the same things that were getting destroyed every time, but those parts of the map weren't open yet until the Guardian destroyed it. Does that make sense?
So instead of like, say, the only way you could have got across was like 2 ramps because there's a wall here, you might just go straight through the wall.
Yep, absolutely.
I love that.
Yep.
That's cool.
So as the game progresses, like you have more options of strategy sort of open up because of what's going on.
That's almost like a replacement for the towers too, is having something in the way that this thing has to punch through before you can proceed.
That's a cool point. Yeah.
Yeah, and there are creatures that you can summon that will block your way, that will deal damage to you, and you have to get through them and stuff. And
like buff creatures, can you like summon a creature who will give you like increased attack speed? Or...
Yep.
Okay.
Cool. You can. Yeah.
Awesome.
You thought you were so smart.
I thought I was like, yeah, did they do this? And they're like, yeah, we did all of that.
It's really cool. So check that preview out, youtube.com/IGN Arena. I really liked it. I'm excited to see more from Gigantic.
Me too.
I played a lot of upcoming MOBAs lately, and this is the one that I'm most excited about, I would say. So yeah, I think it looks cool.
There's like a bird man with a sword and a cat on his shoulder.
That
so
guy
I'm
was
all
like,
about
I
that.
know it's huge.
It snuggles him, and he's all like, "Yeah, I'm
Are you
cool."
Swain from League of Legends?
He's like an owl ninja with a kitten. Big fan.
He's the one-armed assassin.
He's got one arm.
He's got one arm.
Oh, so good. I like the dude with he had like chemicals and he was like running around.
Yeah.
I was like, oh my god, that's Ziggs and oh my god, just forgetting his name.
It's like Alchemist.
It's really funny how you can find a character like parody sort of between all these different MOBAs.
To be fair, it's like I was talking about this with Marty Sleba from IGN on the way to what event was it? E3. We drove down to E3, and we were constantly quizzing Marty like name a Dota character, and he would just say like the Lich, and I'm like yes, that's one, yes, and he's like it's not that hard, man. Like it's a fantasy game. They're gonna have the archetypes. I'm like
Skeleton. They're gonna have a Drow Ranger.
Yeah.
And
they're gonna have like the Archer lady, and they're gonna have like. These are all fairly easy to guess things because fantasy is what it is. It has been for a while.
Kill the excitement, Marty.
I know.
Jerk.
Just bring us all down.
You and Marty recently did a funny video.
We did do a funny video.
It's good. It's about Dota. You
Coming
guys will
soon.
see it soon.
Coming soon.
Coming soon.
Oh,
Teaser.
man.
Speaking
You
of
haven't seen
coming,
this?
speaking of coming soon. Oh, you have to watch it. But once again, speaking of coming soon, lots and lots and lots of MOBAs get lots and lots and lots of updates every week. We talk about a new MOBA getting announced every week, but let's talk about the ones that are already out there that, you know, these developers are constantly updating and polishing and adding awesome things to their games, so they're going to get updated. The biggest ones this week were the League of Legends 4.12 patch, and there's a new Smite patch that just came out. Like we were talking about, there's new Awesome Nuts patch coming out. So they're always being updated all the time, new characters, new modes.
Yay, video games as platforms.
Yeah, I love it. I'm so happy that it's just constantly updated, and you don't have to download it and pay for it. It's awesome too.
Yeah, the new tell us about the 4.12 update.
Oh man, I'm pretty pumped on it. To be honest, like the big thing, like they come out the gate and they're like this because we're X amount of patches away from the next LCS or whatever. We're focusing on the competitive scene. Like we really want to focus on that. And they come right out, and the first thing they talk about is jungle timers now. So when you're playing the game now, if you and your team witness a jungle camp get cleared out, if you go to the scoreboard, there will be a timer on there for when that comes back. So it's going to completely aid a jungler running through the map.
But you have to see it happen.
You have to see it happen.
Interesting.
Yeah, so it has to be witnessed, which I love because my biggest gripe when I play online, especially solo queue, is nobody wards. And if they
I was going to say, do wards count for that too?
Oh, God, yeah, as long as you have vision.
Okay, cool.
The only
Is it as long as you have vision or as long as your team has vision?
Anyone on your team has vision.
Okay.
That's awesome.
Yeah. So if it's warded, it sounds like it's going to be able to work. And if you end up doing something like sniping Baron or Baron or the Dragon, and you don't have vision for some reason, because so there's a lot of ults that you can just fire off from across the map, and if it kills it, you get the credit for it. So if you don't have vision but you still get the kill, the timer will reset. You will have that timer. So they kind of thought of everything, and it's something I'm very excited about because I like to jungle a lot, and that's something good.
So I always relate things to Dota to understand them. So Baron is like the big bad beast that you kill, but like you get a timer on your screen for when he'll come back.
Yeah. So they're like, oh, he'll be back. I
can't even fathom that
because in Dota the equivalent Roshan comes back between 8 and 11 minutes.
Yeah.
So it's always like you have to check and you never know for sure.
Which wasn't always the case.
Right.
Yeah.
They that's what would happen beforehand. Like there was no timers, so you had to be like, all right, so I killed him here. He's coming back at this time. Off the top of my head, I don't know their timers, which is poor reflection of me as a jungler. But I think it's gonna be awesome because it's definitely gonna control the route. Like I can go and gank and be like, hey, I've got 30 seconds, and then I got to roll and go pick up the dragon. And I think that's going to be rad. It's going to change a lot of stuff.
I like that, but I'm also of the mind, like, if I'm jungling and I kill a camp and I go out and I kill a few more camps and I come back and that camp is still empty, I immediately go like, oh, God. Like, that means one of two things.
Where
One,
are they?
they've warded this and they know I'm here. Or two, they're here. They've taken this camp. And that's, like, a fascinating, terrifying, suspenseful thing to have to deal with. And to have
the junglers in your jungle, you're like, oh.
Yeah, and just coming back to that to see, like, 4 seconds is like, oh, all right.
Yeah.
I don't know. It kind of robs that. But it's also, I mean, it's very helpful for those who are jungling.
Yeah. I think it's going to be, what you say is definitely a detriment, but I do believe it's going to add more than it takes away from the experience, especially on a learning curve.
Awesome.
There's also a lot of updates to specific characters. Ezreal, I know you guys don't play League, so it's...
I play League.
I know a little
you
bit.
do play
Leah
League.
plays a lot.
I played with Leah. Yeah, Ezreal has he has his move Essence Flux, I believe, where if you hit an ally with it, it'll increase their attack speed. But now you can hit Ezreal with it. So if you're fast enough, you can fire it, teleport in front of it, get hit with his attack speed, and just start machine gunning.
That's the best.
Yeah, isn't that amazing?
Great.
There was a lot of like really small updates. Like Ari got an update. I think it was to do with her cooldowns, and they've shortened them, which Ari didn't need because Ari's just an animal in mid lane. Kassadin, who's constantly getting nerfed bad because he's got like a 90% ban rate. And they've nerfed some of his, they increased his cooldown on his Nether Blade, but then they also made his slow last a lot longer and be a higher percent.
I love
what
these
kind of character is
tweaks.
he? What does he do?
He's a mid lane mage, and his big thing is, like, he melee hits, but he has his ult where you can teleport a short distance, and you can keep using it, but it gets more and more expensive as you use it. Yeah, he's brutal mid lane. Gets banned a lot for good reason. Another one was a Lucian nerf, which is the big ADC.
Yep.
Seeing him a lot in LCS. You see him a lot everywhere. He's super powerful. They nerfed his distance a lot. But he has a dash where they removed the mana requirement on it. So that's free. And they did something else to his dash. Oh, man.
Are these updates all part of LCS? Like when LCS finals happen, are these updates part of that?
Yes.
Yeah,
It'll be in this week of LCS.
Oh,
or
I'm
it's not this week, but soon.
Probably like the next
iteration of
yeah,
LCS.
yeah.
Yeah, because that's what they came out, like completely focusing on the competitive
The split is
scene.
soon, right? The split ends
Okay,
soon.
not off the top of my head. I don't know what
Okay.
the split is, but I watch it a lot. I'm more of a Twitch stream watcher. I have a lot of
You don't
favorites.
follow like the whole
There's
scene.
so much going on in
Yeah, of
that
course.
that it's just
There's not
complex.
that many weeks left. So
Thought so. Yeah.
They also there's Kaylee, I don't know.
Kale.
Yeah, they increased the cooldown on her ultimate, but only on the Twisted Treeline and Crystal Scar map, which I
Okay.
think is good because that's a 3v3, a lot smaller. But it's all these changes are awesome, and then they also announced 2 skins coming up for
Yeah.
Aatrox and Malphite, Mecha Aatrox and Mecha Malphite.
So one of the final updates for 4.12, those skins look really cool, by the way.
yes, yeah.
But they introduced the intro bots,
Oh,
which
yes.
we've
Completely forgot
it's called like onboarding bots, but it does exactly what you were talking about earlier that Dota doesn't do, which is like when you were saying the tutorial kind of stinks. The League tutorial kind of stinks too. So Riot went back and added sort of an extra step down tutorial, which is like that really helps people learn to play and not make mistakes like getting in front of your creeps or towers or anything. It's more like you just installed League of Legends. You don't even know how to move yet. Like, let us show you how to do even that much. Like, don't even worry about the creeps or the towers or what's going on. Like, let us explain the game
Super
to you.
diluted tutorial.
Yeah, Heroes of the
and-
Storm does the exact same thing. And they have like a cute little story thing to go with it. But
Right.
it's super helpful. Like, hey, you need to
pretty
come over
funny.
here. Why don't you click on me to come here? It's like, oh, okay, cool.
Do that.
Yeah.
I know that right click is move. Got it.
Which is helpful, and we talked about
Yes.
this last week. But I really like that that Riot was doing this, and that they are trying to help new players understand the game better. And I think that other games can sort of take a look at that and see if it goes well. This update also added the new client to League of Legends.
Oh, that's a much needed.
Which was much needed
Yes.
indeed. So that's exciting. So it's a big update. It seems like we are all on board with
Absolutely.
constant updates. I don't know why. Yeah, why wouldn't we be? But
Yeah.
I mean, I guess people might not want so much content all the time. It seems like
I
there's a
love it.
new
I love
Smite
it.
character coming
Seeing
out every
negative,
week or something
yeah.
like that. But
I love seeing updates and tweaks and character additions
Patch
and new
notes are
modes.
fascinating.
Yeah, like every time
Especially
I
once you
see that,
understand a
that's
game.
as exciting to me as like a new game
I
announcement.
nerd out so hard on patch notes. Like, oh my god, is anything like any of my champs?
yeah,
get buffed?
exactly.
Yeah.
You always look
Yeah.
for your champion first.
Or like any nerfs to like
The ones
counters
you
to your
hate.
champion
Yeah.
or
So
whatever.
So you
yeah,
always
yeah.
look for the Pudge updates or something.
Definitely balanced. Oh yeah, he needed the nerf. My guy's fine. But that's
Yeah, of course.
You mentioned new champions. I just wanted to talk. There was a QA with Medler, one of the designs, and as a small thing that he just mentioned in one of the answers that I thought was amazing. The next, and I'm excited about, the next new champ that he thinks is going to come out is a top lane character.
Ooh.
Yeah, and I'm a big fan of the tanks. Like, I'm just gonna run in. I know you're gonna hit
Yep.
me, but
Yep,
you're not
I
gonna
don't
get rid
care.
of me. Yeah.
I love playing top lane too.
Yeah.
It's like you it's like you're the other guy. One of you is going to be better,
Yeah.
and it's like your team is relying on
Yeah.
you to be good. I don't know. I like bearing that burden sometimes.
That's such a fascinating
League.
difference between League and Dota too. Is like the top lane is almost like another mid.
Oh,
A
really?
lot of the time, like I don't know, it just feels like
'Cause
there's
it's a
so much
solo lane.
responsibility to that solo lane.
Interestingly enough, in the League of Legends meta, now we are starting to see. Okay, so in Dota, is a mid lane typically either an assassin or a mage character for Dota?
Not necessarily.
Okay,
Can
in
be.
League, it's almost like rule of thumb, like you're either gonna be an assassin or a mage.
Interesting.
In League now, the meta we're seeing in the top lane, the top usually a tank, a bruiser, or a fighter. We're now starting to see mages show up in the top lane, and that's
Lulu.
a big issue for Lulu.
Kale.
I was in a game with a Rise who just made my life
In top lane?
miserable. Top lane.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I don't know where this change came from, but it seems to be working because you get these tanks on the top lane. They're like, oh, I have to be in your face to fight, and then the person they're fighting is like, well, you're not gonna get.
They're like, no,
Yeah, you're not gonna
no,
get into my face.
go away.
Yeah.
Sometimes it seems like maybe nothing really changed, but someone just started doing something.
Yeah,
and it
exactly.
caught
And
on.
it
And
worked,
it
and
worked.
everyone was like, oh man, why did I not think of that?
Yeah.
I'm gonna try it out.
Like there hasn't been a significant Dota update since like 6.81, which is pretty recent.
Yeah.
But like no one played Faceless Void Professional, or like in professional games, and now he's like everywhere in TI4. Just like someone just started using him because. And
that's what seems to happen.
You were in
like,
before it was cool.
Like the LCS games, like they'll see someone like, oh my God, he's destroying people and just abusing people with Thresh, and now every game I go into, it's like support Thresh. That's what's gonna happen.
Yep.
And if I have to play support, it is always Thresh.
I love support. I love support classes.
Me too.
They're so much fun. Braum is my favorite.
Braum is so good.
He's so overpowered.
Oh, he's dumb. He's the dumbest.
I just love everything about him. Just like his stun, the shield. The most satisfying thing in the world is like when you leap in front of someone, drop the shield, and you take their ult. You're like, yeah.
Stand behind me.
Thanks for coming out. Go and try again a little later. I love it. It's so good.
So good. MOBAs are great, guys.
I like them quite a bit.
I'm super glad. I'm super glad and super upset I got addicted to it, because now I'm like, I'm going to buy a game. I think we had this conversation earlier. Like, I'm going to buy a game and play you for 30 minutes and realize I want to be on League. Right?
Yep. New Assassin's Creed is really fun. Don't care.
It was funny. We had 2 new hires come into the office today, and we were asking, as part of their introduction, like, what's your favorite game right now? Yeah. And so I was kind of expecting to hear like Assassin's Creed, something. First one said Dota, second one said League of Legends, and we were both like, all of us in our little MOBA corner were just like, yes, thank you for saying that. So
everyone else in the
awesome.
office is just like, man, more of these people.
Yeah, give it time.
We're
They'll come around.
I mean, Brian Altano was a good first step. Marty is kind of coming on board now, so we're making progress.
Maybe
that's like one of my favorite things. Like, can I make you join the cult? Like, are you gonna come over to MOBA team? It's gonna be amazing.
But thank you, IGN Arena viewers, for sticking with us and for being MOBA fans. We appreciate you. We love you. So if you love us back, please subscribe to IGN Arena at youtube.com/IGN Arena. And don't forget to stick around for all of our TI4 coverage. You can find it right here on IGN today, starting today on Friday. And that should do it. So thank you guys for all being here.
Thank you.
Thanks, Leah.
Thanks for having me, guys.
Yeah.
Hey,
We'll
come back
see you
anytime.
guys next time. Bye.
Bye, guys.